Hello, everyone. Welcome. My name is Trang Pham, and I am the head of operations and business side here at the Happy Healing Shop, which is a metaphysical and spiritual lifestyle company. Today, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about incorporating how to make your practice into, let's say, an actual reader. So you might be dabbling in, let's say, tarot reading, psychic, or energy healing. You know, maybe you're digging into astrology and you've been practicing for a while or for a bit, and there's plenty of courses out there that talk about development, right? So for example, we offer how to develop your psychic abilities course or a Reiki energy healing certification course. For more information and exercises and whatnot, check out our website at thehappyhealingshop.com and click on the tab courses. But there's not a lot of information out there. How do we take it to the next level, right? And how to apply it to the world in a practical manner or put it out there as a practitioner with confidence. So there's a lot of people that do it out there as a hobby, but they don't know how to actually start being a reader and getting paid for it. What I'm going to show you next is there are 6 myths that I hear floating around online about building a spiritual practice or a business. And I'm going to explain like the real truth behind it and why the info out there is, or even the info that you might think can hold you back in ways you don't even realizing it into becoming a practitioner. And if this resonates or is helpful with you, just stick around to the end because I will share you how we can work together. The first myth, and this one, oh man, this one kind of like makes my eye muscle twitch a bit. But again, when people tell you, oh, just manifest, become a practitioner and it'll happen. And the thing is about that is you do have to take action. And that's the thing. You can't just do what are these, Pinterest board, a vision board where you put photos together and you slap it on your mirror with a nice affirmation and say, money's gonna come my way. I'm gonna be a reader. And then not do anything and just hope that you get 10 million people following you and then booking readings from you. It doesn't quite work that way. And I think like this, just manifest floating online is something that holds back a lot of people where they get frustrated saying like, why is it not coming? Why is it not coming to me? And maybe this is all BS. But in reality, you have to take the action, like you have to do something about it. And most people, this is where people get lost, right? So yes, you can manifest, but you can manifest getting great clients or getting people that you are ideal for you, that don't give you trouble, or people that help promote your business because they find you or discover you online and whatnot. But you still have to put yourself out there online, right? So this could go again with like tarot, psychic, or tea leaf reading and whatnot. The second myth I hear a lot is starting a business costs a lot of money. And the thing is, if you have an online business, or right now, as you know, during the pandemic, people can do readings online. It works the same. And tech is a lot cheaper than you think. So when Maria and I started in very humble beginnings, very, very humble beginnings, all we used was online booking system where people can book on our calendar. And then we use Skype. You know, Skype is free. So that's where we started. But now, as you guys know, we upgrade to Zoom. So what's great is like technology isn't expensive anymore. Doing your own online business isn't expensive anymore as well. It's a different story though when people say having a business expensive if you have like a physical brick and mortar location. But with online, you don't have to pay a monthly rent, monthly fee, like insurance for the building and whatnot. So the third myth, this one I just saw, sorry, all these things are making my eye muscle go off, but I saw this online and I actually did a response video to it on TikTok. But to help people, you need to charge less. People have said that. Also, charging less means your intentions are good. And the thing is, you have to have an equal exchange of energy, right? So you're going to start burning yourself out if you say, in the beginning, people have a hard time doing this just because, they're really like not confident about their abilities, or you kind of feel like, oh, I want to help a lot of people. So including people that can't afford like expensive services. So I'll just charge like $20 for it or $25. Like that's affordable, right? But the thing is, if you keep doing that, you're going to drain yourself because you have to pay yourself. You have to also like, again, the cost and standard of living. If you can't pay your rent and whatnot, then you're going to start being like, why am I doing this? Like, why am I getting burnt out for readings? I thought this was my life path. And then you just kind of go downhill from there. And then most people quit or they get burnt out and they say like they're traumatized by the burnout and they're like, you know what, I don't even want to do that again. So again, another thing is people, they still have to pay you for your time. And another thing that I read online that resonated was that you are not a charity. I know a lot of people watching in right now, you guys might be empaths. You might be one of those people like, we all want to help the whole entire world, right? But we're not a charity. You can't think of yourself as that. Charities are funded by some rich people, like some rich person or like a lot of donators or donees. But the thing is, like in this case, you're probably not funded by someone. So you have to think that you are an operation, you are a business. And I don't mean to say that in a very cold way, but it's more like on the front end, you can still be caring, kind, run your business ethically, but on the back end, you still have to remember you're an entity, and it's kind of like feeding your baby. You got to make sure you feed your baby. So the next one, the fourth, I wouldn't say myth, but something I hear about people when they start out is when they say like, I can't do this because I'm not an expert. So the thing is, good news. Guess what? You don't have to be an expert. Being a practitioner and helping people in the world is not only for the elite. Okay. So for example, psychic medium Maria Hill, I feel like I'm calling you out because you're in this Zoom right now, but she was self-taught with tarot, or and in the day, you don't have to be number one in the world. Like we're not number one in the world, but you only need to know more than your client, right? So it's kind of like dance class. If you are an intermediate person, you're going to be like, oh, I can't teach people dance classes. But of course you can. You just teach beginners and usually the people that are in beginning dance class, they're only going to ask you to teach them the basic steps. They're not going to teach you the dance moves where you have to do lifts and like all those pas de bourrées and whatnot. So again, people are seeking guidance when they come to you, and all you have to do is be able to know more than them, or just like give them the guidance that they seek. So the fifth myth is that, this is another one that kind of irks me as well, is people saying, you just need passion. You just need motivation to get you there. That's all. And the thing is, emotions are fleeting, it's kind of like New Year's resolution, the end of December, beginning of January, you're just like, I'm going to lose that last 10 pounds, or I'm going to get those abs, or I'm going to totally eat healthy and whatnot. And then 2 weeks in, there's so many people at the gym, crowded, packed. And then after 2 weeks, like they're all gone. And so you have to remember that emotions, or even life, it's like up and down. It's never consistent, right? So at the end of the day, you have to make a consistent habit in order to be successful. So again, you can't just go to the gym just based off of motivation and be like, yeah, I'm gonna like lose those last 10 pounds, and even saying like, oh, well, I just want to look good in bikini. But the thing is, where you're gonna actually lose the weight and become successful is getting up each day and going to the gym for 15 to 30 minutes or whatever the workout is, and do it every day. And then over time, you will see the results, so whenever you see people say you just need passion or motivation to become successful, that's not actually true at all. The sixth myth is, I need a lot of followers on social media to be successful. And let me tell you something, numbers can be deceiving. The reason I know this is because there are actually people out there that do social media as a job, where they will pitch to you and say like, hey, I can get you 10,000 more followers. And the method that they do this is because they'll look up at hashtags and they'll comment on other strangers' websites or like Instagram accounts or whatever accounts for you, and then get that person to follow you back. However, your Instagram game or your TikTok game or whatever might look good, and you might have like, I don't know, 10,000 more followers, but in the long run, they're just following you back just because you commented on their TikTok. You're not growing your account organically. They're not there because they actually like your account and the content you put. So in the long run, in the short run, it looks great. People are like, oh my goodness, you're so famous, or you have so many people following you. But in the long run, those people aren't there to buy your products, buy your services. And tell people, their friends and family about you, right? So, and also at the end of the day, it's math. I know it sounds weird. You're like, what? It's not manifestation, it's math. So let me tell you about the numbers here. It's better to have 1,000 really true diehard followers than a million people that just scroll through your content. See, if you have a million people, but they just scroll through your content, but they don't buy anything from you, they don't care about the courses you put out or any of the services you put out, then those numbers on social media don't mean anything. So whereas imagine having just 1,000 diehard fans that every time they're like so loyal to you, every time you release something, they buy everything from you. Like they tell their friends and family everything about you. So sometimes it's actually better to have a small, nice, small, intimate club that of people that love you. So imagine if Maria and you find fulfillment in helping others, making an impact. I can tell you the work that Maria and I are doing right now has been some of the most fulfilling work we've done that no other job, office job, retail job has been able to give us, and it is nice getting paid and being respected for what you do, whether you want to do this full time or you want to take it as a part-time, make money on the side. I've heard people be like, I just want to make extra money aside on top of my day job. And that's totally fine. It also setting your own hours. That's a good part about starting your own side hustle or your business is that you can set your own hours. People can book when only the times you're available. And because of online technology now, the internet, you can literally work anywhere in the world that has internet and Wi-Fi. And I think, perfect example is Happy Healing Shop. Maria and I are able to reach all of you guys, and you guys aren't even in California. Well, some of you guys are, but, and that's the beauty of it. And the thing is, in the beginning, Maria and I have had so many emotions. I'm sure she could expand on it, but it's just the fears of putting ourselves out there, and just not sure if our gift people would want, or, if you're not good enough, or you're like, oh, but I'm not the expert again. And, there's a lot of anxiety that comes with starting a new business and just not knowing where to start, feeling overwhelmed, or how to keep up with the latest technology platforms and whatnot, because there are different platforms besides Zoom that we use as well. But there's also people I've met that said they give free readings, but they don't know how to charge, but they're starting to get burnt out by them because it is taking their time. But they've just been doing it for friends, and they don't know how much to charge or when to charge to people without feeling awkward. It's kind of awkward asking people hey, can you pay me for that? Or even when you've been doing it on your own. Some people try to figure out themselves, you can Google, you can YouTube. That was me, but the thing is you find so many things online that don't say the same things. So you just get discouraged. And actually, in fact, let me read a comment on our TikTok here. Feeling discouraged because I've put so much time and money into starting a practice and have literally earned $10 from it. And so, the thing is it shouldn't be like that. And it doesn't have to be hard like that. So without further ado, I want to introduce you to something that we've been working on for the past 2 months, and it'll get you from feeling doubtful and not knowing where to start or what to focus on to getting you the confidence, direction, and necessary expertise from us to launch your new practice in just 6 weeks. For any of you guys listening in who have been kind of toying with the idea of finally making it to a practice. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to our new How to Start Your Own Spiritual Business program, which will get you from feeling doubtful and not knowing where to start or what to focus on to getting the confidence, direction, and the necessary expertise to launch your practice in just 6 weeks. So if this course sounds like you, we're going to show you how to bring your business idea and calling to life and actually make a living doing what you were born to do. What's included is learning how to grow your social media following based on our example of psychic medium Maria Hill, who expanded her audience from 0 to now over 46,000 followers, growing your business with no funding for investors and being able to reach clients from all around the world, getting over that imposter syndrome, not feeling like you're good enough and have the confidence to put you on a price on your time, your gifts, energy, even if you're not the top expert in your field. building your brand and professional looking website, and using other online platforms to carry out your business with no additional IT support or fancy coding required. You also will learn why you don't want to launch a perfect service or product. It's a huge mistake I see in beginners. And also get people to pay you fairly for your craft because you deserve it. What a sales funnel is and how to strategically use it to grow your practice. Some of the perks include 6 weekly coaching sessions to get the support, clarity, and guidance that you need. Also, a workbook and weekly assignments to keep you on track and overcome the self-doubt, the imposter syndrome, and all the mental blocks with our cognitive behavior-based exercises that we have. We'll also teach you how to use a PR tool to get featured on major media outlets such as Forbes, Cosmopolitan, and more. You'll get discount off our future business course and also lots of video content. We'll also give you feedback review of your website, and our amazing resource list that took years of experience for me to compile. As you can see here, Lisette came to me in a session and she said afterwards, "I feel this is worth its weight in gold. Thank you. It has benefited me tenfold." So the course price, we have 2 options. We have the online course plus 6 weeks of coaching for a total of $947. Or we also have our standalone online course for only $197. Our coaching program only opens a few times per year. So if you missed this round, then make sure to sign up for our newsletter linked down below to get notified on the next round of enrollment. Okay, so some of the frequently asked questions we get is, do you offer a refund policy? We do offer a refund within 11 days of your purchase on this program. You can email us and we will be happy to help. And who is this course for? Who is it not for? So this is not for people or those of you who have an established company or business for the past 2 to 3 years. It is for anyone who's ready to take that leap and start their own spiritual or wellness business. And if you're motivated in helping and healing others, then this is the course for you. In addition, this course is more geared towards people who are offering services versus selling products. So here's a list of examples such as a dream interpreter, astrologer, psychic medium, a tarot reader, sound healing, healing through dance, meditation, yoga, energy healer, like a reiki practitioner, breathwork facilitator, a meditation teacher, a shaman, a tea leaf reader or coffee grounds reader, palm reader. We can be intuitive coach or a spiritual coach or teacher, rune casting, a divination reader, herbalist, emotional freedom technique person, crystal healer, and aromatherapy specialist, just to name a few. So the coaching program starts in 1 week. However, with the online course, once you purchase it, you get direct access to it and you can start working on the workbook and also getting through the video modules. So for what the sessions look like in the course, there's going to be video lectures covering topics along with short exercises to complete in your workbook. And those who are choosing the coaching program, those sessions are done by Zoom. And the business coaching program lasts for 6 weeks. Each week, there's going to be a group coaching call. For getting access to the online course, it's 12 months. And the only technology you need to participate is a computer or a smartphone with internet. We don't teach how to build a brick and mortar business in this course. In addition, we don't include accounting, financial advice, trademarking, copywriting, intellectual property law, or legal advice, as that varies from state to state and country to country. We do, however, show you how to keep track of your finances in this course, which is important. So some of you still might be on the fence. And you might be asking, is it worth the money? So let me ask you a question. Is it worth you spending another 3 to 6 months trying to figure it out on your own, spending hours researching, finding conflicting information online, getting frustrated, discouraged, doubting yourself, and wanting to quit when you can learn it all here in 6 weeks? And now imagine giving just 8 readings at $100 each. That covers for the whole entire program itself. And charging $100 sounds like a lot to a new person starting out their business. But in this course, we'll teach you how to charge and why it actually hurts you if you charge way too low. Plus, you'll be continuing to make money after that. And again, what if I'm not an expert? Earlier in today's session, I did say how you don't have to be number one in the world. You just have to know more than your client. And what will you get out of it? You're going to get the confidence and support from us and our community to finally put your gifts out there and get paid fairly for it. If the same thing you've been trying hasn't worked out, chances are it probably won't work in the future. So no more being scatterbrained, but instead being able to focus on what's important and getting the clients you want and deserve. And also knowing that you're helping, healing, and impacting other people. Maria and I doing this type of work gives us fulfillment that no other job has ever been able to give us. And you can finally be on that path where you feel fulfilled, worthy, and appreciated. So you might say, but Trang, there are other courses out there already. That's very true. I browsed online for them too when I started, but a lot of them were really generic, build your online business course, and it just doesn't resonate and translate the same way. And when it's generic like that, they try to cover all sorts of industries, digital marketing, e-commerce, social media marketing, music industry, finance, and that info doesn't cater specifically to the journey of someone building a spiritual business. They usually don't even talk about the ethics of running a business. And I know that most people, including you, who are getting into the metaphysical and spiritual industry, would want to run it in a way where it's not only about the money and sales, but it also has to be ethical, fair, and aligns with your morals and values. And at the end of the day, genuinely helping people. And we've tested and tried different methods so you don't have to, and we've done it ourselves. And we know what it's like and what the journey looks like. We know what works and what doesn't work. So, what are the emotional and financial costs of not buying? Instead of gaining clarity, you're going to still feel overwhelmed as there's so much information out there. And worst of all, the info can be contradicting too, so you don't know what to believe. Also, trying to work it out on your own and your effort ends up being useless and a frustrating waste of time. You feel stuck in the same place, not knowing what are the right areas to focus on, spending hours figuring out how to set up your business, not knowing how much to charge, struggling to find ideal clients, which leads down to a road of self-doubt. You second guess yourself and your capabilities, and then you get stressed, disappointed, and then your mental health takes a toll, and you start questioning if you should quit, and that becomes a vicious cycle. And also, the path of doing it on your own is difficult, but it doesn't have to be when you get the guidance of someone who's done it before. And Maria and I wish we had something like this when we started out. It would have saved us the time, the stress, and honestly, our mental health. So you can purchase our standalone online course at any time, but this round of coaching program enrollment ends in 1 week on June 30th. So make sure you visit our website at thehappyhealingshop.com/courses. And keep in mind, though, we also have on our website the how to develop your psychic abilities. So we have lots of exercises there, and also the ethics of being a psychic in that course. And we also have a Reiki certification as well. So if you want to become an energy healer, we offer that course on our website, thehappyhealingshop.com. And then I'm just going to read here the comments. Yali, ethics is HIPAA. It is. It is like the HIPAA of the spiritual world. And again, like some people, I've had readings where someone has told me like, I have been cursed, and you don't ever want your client to feel that way. Like, how does it make you feel? And so we want to teach people that what you say is really powerful, but what you say can impact how people conduct themselves. And, we want people to be in a place of empowerment, not disempowerment. What is the hardest lesson you think we had to learn starting this? The one I hit on earlier, you are not a charity. Because even I will say we made the mistake in the beginning of charging too low. And the reason why you don't want to charge low is you have to think of it it's kind of like the artist industry. When you go and buy portraits and paintings, they cost a couple $100s, and then you see like someone else sell it for like $30, and people who aren't in the artist industry will look at it and be like, why should I bother paying for $100 versus the $30? And it actually, when you charge too low, not only is it not good for equal energy exchange, but it's also, you end up hurting the industry. So there's, let's say, people that charge $25 for an hour of tarot, and that seems like, from the client side, that seems like a good deal, but then it actually hurts people in our industry, because they'll be like, well, why does this person charge that much, and you charge a lot higher? So I think that's one of them, charging low. But it's also charging low because you want to try to help everyone. And in the course, we teach you that not every single person in the world is your client. That's something. Oh, that's something. Yeah, we definitely had to learn. We can't help the people that don't want to help themselves. And we should only help people that are ready to come to us and ready to hear what they need to hear. And also, again, you're not a charity trying to help everyone in the world. You can't operate that way because that's not how your business is built at the moment, unless you're being funded by someone. Oh, how many times did y'all second guess even putting up the business? Well, the thing is, in the beginning, I was like, story time, guys. So in the beginning, it kind of started with Maria and I doing like in-person psychic event at this apartment I'm in right now. And it was funny because I think it wasn't like one day where we're just like, you know what, we're going to start our business on March 1, we just kind of toyed with it, being like, we're just like WhatsApping each other, really, like texting, sending each other audio messages, being like, oh, you're psychic, maybe you can do readings for fun or whatever. But we weren't sure yet. And I was like, oh, let's make a website. And then Maria came up with the idea of the Happy Healing Shop. And I think the idea of making a pretty website or a pretty professional website is what started kind of that. And then in terms of doing a psychic night, I was like, you know what, Maria? I know like Maria was also nervous because that's when you start, you're like, oh, I don't know how it's gonna all pan out. So I was like, you know what? Let's just do a psychic night with my girlfriends and it'll be free and they'll give you feedback and whatnot. And then so we did one just for fun. So that way it wasn't any pressure at all. And they could give any feedback for the information that they knew when she was doing any psychic readings or tarot readings. And it started from there. And then at the end of the night, they were just like, they were in tears. Because their loved ones came through. And so what we thought was going to be a like, oh, yay, girls night in, it wound up being like, oh, wow, this is a thing. This is a big thing, And at the end of the night, and the next morning, the girls were like, hey, can we tip Maria for her time? Like and energy. And so that's when I was like, Maria, we're in business. This is like people want to pay us for this. This is like amazing. And then it kind of started from there. And it was a slow start. The first year is a slow start. And what's good about this program is I'm very honest in it. When you see those advertisements for like, hey, join now and I'll show you exactly how to get 10,000 followers in 1 month, in 30 days, I look at that because I'm behind the scenes. I look at that and working as the business part side of things. And I'm like, I wonder what they skewed to make you think you can really get 10,000 followers in 30 days. Because that is like very difficult, almost impossible to do when you're starting out. But people will do that, to kind of get you in and draw you in. But in my program, I like to be very honest with people. I like to give expectations, realistic expectations, because sometimes people aren't given realistic expectations. And then they think like, oh, I should have reached this milestone and I didn't, so I'm a failure. So that's one thing I think I wish people were more honest. So that way people wouldn't question themselves or feel like a failure and then quit, How can one overcome imposter syndrome? Yes. Okay. This is like, I think for people starting out, the emotional aspect, it's funny because the logistical aspect of business is really easy, right? It's actually like you set up this website, you set up your social media and whatnot, you click here, and there. I showed that in the program as well. But the emotions is like the big, and all that self-doubt is actually like the biggest. I've had a few calls with some people and that was like the biggest thing, imposter syndrome, where it holds people back so much. And we do have cognitive behavior therapy based exercises. So what it is, for example, I'm not the best. That's a script we keep telling ourselves. I'm not the best. I'm not good enough for this. And so we take that and we change it to a new thought instead. And we get into that practice of like, every time that old thought comes up, you stop yourself and you put that new thought in. And it takes time, but overall, for example, that new thought would be like, it's okay that I don't know everything. I am still learning. That's an example. It's a big one too. That's the main one. And also I think having community and support as well, when you're with other people and you're like, oh, you feel the same way? I do too. But then you kind of support each other because you're like, no, you're talented. I've had a reading with you. You're like legit good. So it's kind of like surrounding yourself with people that also build your self-esteem too. And sometimes we grow up in an environment that's not like that. So it can be hard. because when you grow up in a place where people don't give you self-esteem, you have to try to learn how to break that and be like, oh, you know what? I have a lot to offer in this world. I hope you guys took away some things from it as well, or even like share it with someone, that person that you know that's talented, that's like, hey, you need to see this and you need to start your business because you're talented. Okay, have a good night, everyone. Bye.